Hey guys, how's it going? So today I have some more tips about how to solve the P&G switch challenge. And okay, I will start with the introduction, like how we can solve these kind of things. Let me get my pencil. Okay, so when you have these kind of questions, you have four inputs with different colors and different shapes, and you have outputs, the similar things as an output. So what you have to do is you have to match this pattern using this operator. So these are the operators. So basically what you have to do is, so in here, let's take this example. So this is 2 1 4 3. So this is your first element, this is your second element, this is your third element, this is your fourth element. So what you have to do is you have to pass these inputs in this operator, so you will get this output. So here, let's take this one. So 2. So we will take this one. Alright. So now if we do this operator, we will get number 2 is green. Alright. So number 1 is red. And number 4 is yellow. Number 3 is blue. But this is not the output that we have. We have something different. And the second one, we have number 3, blue. Number 4, yellow. Number 1, red. Number 2, green. So this is exactly what we have here. So this is our answer for this case. And also we can take this one. This should be started white, yellow, red, green, and blue. And again, this is not the answer. So we can cross these two and you can select the answer. So this is the basic of this one. But today I'm going to show you some tricks about how to solve these questions very quickly, because remember, you only have 6 minutes to complete as many questions as you can. So today I will show you some tips. The first tip is always look at the answers. Always look at the answers. Alright? So if the answers start with different digits, like in here it starts with 2, 3, 4, then the question is always easy. It doesn't matter how many levels you are in. If the answer starts with different digits, it's always easy. Why is that? Because you only need to do the first element. Alright? So the easiest way to do this question is you start from the bottom. Alright? So the first one is blue. You will find where the blue is on the top row from the input. Okay? So you draw a line. So this line, you mark it as 3. Okay? So your number should start with 3, which is the same thing that we got from last time. Alright? And then for the second one, you draw an arrow. So this is 4. So now first your answer should be 3. Now it's 4. Okay, now red, it's 1. Green, it's 2. So that's how you usually find the answer very quickly, without like going through all these things. You start from the bottom, you draw a line and find where the element is and write it down. Right? So this is why I said before, you should always look at the answer. Right? If the answers start with different numbers, then it's very easy. You just first draw a line. You don't need to actually draw lines. You can do it in your mind. When you draw a line, 3. Right? The only thing that starts with 3 is this one. You don't need to check all the other things. Even if you do, you will find the answer, but it's a waste of time. Alright? So this is tip number 1. And let me go to other. Okay. So here it's the same thing. You have 4 inputs, you have 4 outputs. But now look at the numbers. Everything starts with the same number. Alright? Now if you jump into the second one, you will see this is different, but these two are same. Alright? So even if you do 2 things, you will be still stuck with these 2 answers. If lucky, you can get this answer, but you have a higher probability that you will get these two answers, one of these two answers. All right. So, and you keep looking at the numbers. So this one, 2, 4, 3. So that's a different number, right? So in here, what you do is you draw the third one because you need to find the third one. So now you are looking at this number. Okay. So when you need to look at that number, you draw a line. So in your answer, this is your first element, this is your second element, and this is your third element, and this is your fourth in your operator. All right. So now you are looking at this one. So when you draw a line, it says 3. So your third element of this operator should be number 3. So this is your answer. All right. And these are not the answers. That's tip number 2. Okay. You understood? I will explain later again. So just look at the numbers. Look at the operator. So 1, 1. So as soon as you see two same numbers, you just go to the next number. 4, 2, 2. So you see two 2's. So you go to the next number. 2, 4, 3. So the third element of the operator is different. Now to find the third element, you should start with the third output. Okay, not like the first one. Start with the third output. So the third output should be number 4. Okay, so this is your answer. I think I made a mistake before. Your third answer should be number, yeah, this is the answer. All right, I think I made a mistake before. Anyway, so that's how you do it. Okay, and even if you still do this, you can find, okay, number 1, number 2, number 4, and number 3. You see, you still get the same answer. All right. Okay, so that's tip number 2. Let's go to higher level. So when you are doing those basic questions very easily, you will get into higher levels like this. So in here, what happened is you have 4 inputs and you have 2 operators and one is already applied. So in this case, what happened is 4, 1, 2, 3 is already applied to this input. So in here, you technically have number 4 is green. So you have green here. Number 1 is yellow. So you have yellow here. Number, okay, 4, 1, 2 is blue. So you have blue here. Number 3 is red here. So forget about this part now. Alright? Forget about this part. Because we applied this operator already. So now you have, okay, why this should be red. Okay, this is red. Alright. Now you can consider this problem as those basic questions. Alright. So you draw a line. The answer should be number 1, 4, and this one is number 3, and this one is number 2. So the answer should be 1, 4, 3, 2. Okay, this should be your answer. Now let's clear everything out. So that's the basic idea of this kind of question. But when you do in the exam, you have to be super fast. So look at the numbers. As I said before, look at these numbers. They all are different. So you only need to find the first one here. So after you apply this operator, the first one should be green. Alright? So you only need to do this one. You don't care about the other 3. So you have green here. Now you draw a line. We have to find the green. So the answer should start with 1. So this is the answer that we get before. So that's how you get more efficient in these kind of questions. Alright? Okay, so let's go to a little bit higher level. Okay, so this is a little bit different because as I said before, you have answers with the same number. In here you have 2 3's. Actually everything starts with 3's. So you need to start looking at the other number. You have 2 2's. So that's not even enough. So here you have 1, 4, 2. Okay. So now now the thing is, you need to find the third element. What is the third element? Because in third element your numbers are different. So you don't need to do everything one by one. You only need to deal with the third element. Okay? So the third element is red. Alright? Now you need to find where the red is from here. Okay? So when you apply this one, red is number 1 here. Okay? This is number 1. So number 1 should be at the last. So red should be here. When you apply this operator, the number 1 is at the last. So red should be at the 4th element. So when you draw this line, this should be number 4. Okay, so this is the only answer that's that has the third element of number 4. Alright, so our answer was the middle line. Okay, let's clear everything out, and we can do it this manually. Okay, number 2 is yellow, number 3 is blue, number 4 is green, number 1 is red. Right, so we started green, so this is number 3, blue number 2, red number 4, yellow number 1. See, 3, 2, 4, 1. The middle one is the answer. Right, so I will explain again. When you have these systems, look at the answers always. Alright, so when you see the same number at the same position, just go to the next one. And if you still see that one, go next to the next one. Right, so in here you have 1, 4, 2. Now you are here looking at the third element, so start with this one, red. Now you need to find the red in here after this operator. So how do you get red in here? You have to look at this operator. Right, so in here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the input numbers. So this operator says is number 1 should be at the last. So the red should be in here, the 4th element. Okay, so when you draw a line, here you can find the answer. Right, so that's another tip. Okay, in here the idea is the same, but now this is backward. The already applied operator is on the output side. So this is a little bit challenging. And in this case, it's easier because it says 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very easy. Right? You take the same thing here, like blue, red, green, yellow, and you draw a line, blue, number 3. Only thing that starting number 3 is this one. So this should be your answer. And if you still continue this, you will see number 2 here, and here you will see number 4, here you see number 1. Alright, so in here what you can do is always look at the answers. Start with number 1, the first position. They have different numbers, so you don't need to deal with any other things. You just take the first one, blue. Okay, where I can find the blue? Number 3. Right, so this is your answer. Okay, alright, so next go to a little bit different one. Okay, so in here you can see start with the same number, and if you go one more, you still see the same number, and if you go one more, now you will see a little bit different number. Alright, okay, so the third element is different. Now the only thing that you have to worry about in these questions is the third element. Okay, now in here, basically, if you are not comfortable doing this, the typical way that we do is in these questions is so this is the typical way. This is not a tip. Okay, so this is the typical way. In typical way, what we do is we write these numbers 2, 4, 1, 3. If you cannot do these questions in mind, this is the typical way you do it. Okay, so you write these numbers in here. When you are coming from the top, you directly apply these numbers like as in positions, but when you're going from top to bottom, you write these numbers, then reorder, like 1 should be in here. So green, and number 2 red, and number 3 blue, and number 4 yellow. That's how we usually get it. Alright, but if you can do very quickly these things, you don't need to write anything down. And as I said before, the third element is the one you should be looking at in this question, okay, because the third element is different. How do we get the third element? In here, you see where the number 3 is, on here. So the blue should be in here, the third element. Where you can find the blue is at number 2. So when you look at the answers, this should be your answer, right? And we can check this. So our answer was 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, anyway, I'm going to erase everything. So let's do this. So 2, 4, 1, 3. Okay, number 1 is green here. After this operator, green. Number 2 is red. Number 3 is blue. And number 4 is yellow. Right? Green is number 4. Red is number 3. Blue is number 2. Yellow is number 1. Okay, so this is the answer. And you can see we found the same answer with my tip. Okay, so that's tip number 5 or 6, I don't remember. Anyway, so once again, look at the answers. See, you cannot use these numbers because they are same, but in here you can use the third element. Alright, so in this third element, all you need to find is the third element in here. From the output, the third element should be blue. Right? When you draw a line, it should be number 2. So this is your answer. Right? So let's go to next one. Okay, now in here you have 3 inputs, 3 operators, I'm sorry. Alright? So in this 3 operator thing, what you can do is you can use your mind. But it's sometimes for some people it's difficult. For me, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes I also get confused. But if you practice these questions like again and again, then you will get familiar and you can do everything in your head. That will save a lot of time. Alright? Okay. In here what we do is we do the same thing. So we apply this operator. So after this operator, so I'm writing here. Okay. So after this operator what we have is number 4 is yellow, number 3 is red, number 1 is green, number 2 is blue. Okay, and in here after this operator applied to this input, what we get is red, green, yellow, blue. Okay, now you have to select one of the operators here. Now if you draw this, it should be number 3, and green is number 2, blue is number 4, red is number 1. Okay, so 3, 2, 4, 1. Okay, maybe I made a mistake here. 3, 2, 4. No, here's your answer. Okay, so this is your answer. Very easy, right? And again, this is the same tip. Look at the answer first. The first element is different. So you only need to deal with a single element. Alright? But in here, the problem is you have 2 operators. You cannot just directly pick this one. Okay? Even if you pick the first one is yellow, now this is not the first one. Okay? So that's why in this case, you probably need to have a piece of paper side by you. Okay? So you can quickly write all these things down. But remember, when you have like the first element is different, you can just quickly do this. Right? So in here what you can do is, okay, without writing, okay, we can try that one without writing, 4 3 1 2, so it will be yellow, red, green, blue, yellow, red, green, blue. And here in here it says 2 3, so you can't forget about the last two. It's 2 3, so you remember yellow, red. Okay, now the red should be in here, right? The red should be number one thing, and when you find the red in here, the fourth element should be number one. Okay, so this is your answer. Did I make a mistake? I don't remember what's the answer before. Okay, so anyway, so that's how we do it. When you deal with these kind of questions, you always need to at least write it down, because during the exam you might get a little bit stressed. So that's why it's always good to have a paper side by you, so you can, if you get nervous or if you are not comfortable, you can just quickly write it down and do it. Otherwise, if you press a wrong button, then you will get your scores will be not as good as before. So that's the other tip. So in this section you can see the first element is same, the second element is also same for this one, and the third element is not same. Okay, so we can try this out without doing anything in my way. All right, so always you need to focus on the third element. All right, so at this point you need to find the, so in here it defined the fourth element. Okay, so after you apply this operator and you get an input here, so in this input the fourth element will be the third output for this one. Okay, because now you are looking at the third element. All right, so okay, sometimes it gets a little bit confused, because even if you get the third element, now you are looking at a different number, because, okay, I will show you what I mean. Okay, so in here I need to find the third element, the fourth element, so it should be number 2. So blue. All right, the blue is the third element. Okay, so now when I draw the line in here, blue is already 3, so this is my answer. See that I didn't even use any other element. Okay, so when we do everything by hand, you will see. So which one was the answer? I think this one was the answer. Yeah, last one was the answer. Okay, let's do this. In here what you get is yellow, green, red, blue. Okay, in here what you get is red, green, blue, yellow. Now when you draw lines, red is number 1, blue, yellow is number 4, blue is number 3, green is number 2. Right, so this is your answer, as I said before. But remember, when we do those small tricks, you don't need to worry about everything. Okay, I think this is pretty okay. Oh no, we have some more examples. So in this case, it's really hard. Believe me, guys, this is really hard. You will get to this point. If you see these kind of questions, then you have mastered your exam. All right, because these are very hard questions, because it's going backward and you have 2 operators already. Okay, so in this case I highly recommend you write everything down, because otherwise it gets really hard and you will stuck at one question. But don't worry, if you see in here, probably when I do this, I spend all these 2 minutes to figure this out. All right, so don't feel bad about these questions, because these are very hard. But don't try to answer this in a wrong way. Even if you don't answer it, it's fine, but try to avoid using wrong answers. Okay, so here the only way that we can deal in here is even if you see like there are 3 different answers in the first element, the only way, sometimes it's easy when you do it by your head. Okay, I will show you how to do it. So the first element is different, so I only need to worry about the first element. Okay, now the first element will be here. Okay, so this is the first element that comes here. All right, now in here the first element is at the second output here. Okay, so how we get the second output? It's right here. So yellow will come for the second element, and this one will go to the first element. Okay, so now the answer should start with number 4. So this should be your answer, right? The last one. Let's see. I hope it's correct. Okay, let's see. So after this point, you will have, okay, in these questions, as I said before, you have to write everything down. And number 1 is blue, number 2 is yellow, number 3 is green, green, and number 4 is red. And at this position, you again write 3, 1, 2, 4. Alright, so number 1 is yellow, number 2 is green, number 3 is blue, and number 4 is red. Okay, yellow, go number 4, green, number 2, blue is number 3, red is number 1. You see, that's how you get the answer. And remember, when I using my tricks, I only dealt with one number, right? In here, you found where the digits are different. It's the first element, and you check how do you get the first element. It's the second number of the operator, right? So this will come here, right? Now how you get, so this is this second element of here, right? How you get the second one? In here. Okay, so where do you get the second one? From here. So this yellow should be in here. Okay, so now, yeah, I think that's pretty much about it. But even if you see the same number for the first element, then let's say these numbers are same, then okay, let's try the third element. For this one, we can use the third. Let's say the first 2 numbers are same, so we can work with the third element. All right, so now you need to look at the third number. So this is the third element. All right, whatever the output in here will be the third element in here. So this is the third one, right? But in here, this is the first one. So how do we get the first one in here? You need to look at this operator. Okay, so here, how you get the first element at this point. Okay, in here, how do you get the first one? Is blue. Okay, so now you come here, blue, and here it's blue. When you draw this line, it's 3. You see, that's how you get it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much about it about this tutorial, and I hope you will find this all my tricks are very helpful. And I know this switch challenge is a little bit difficult, but if you do this again and again, you can master these questions. And I have uploaded a lot of simulations, tests. You can try all of those things and masters everything. And I hope you will get your interview at least. I wish you all good luck. And if you have any questions, please comment below. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so I can upload more videos about this. And until next video, bye bye then.